Bedford Bruisers. Sawtooth Day. What's happening, guys? So I started to show it, and I think I think I put a picture on Instagram, but I ended up trading another knife, and it was I traded my Vandermeulen double homicide for another MOW. Cool thing about that trade was it was a Gen 1 MOW, and I think the one that I got from Steve back in the day was also a Gen 1, if I'm not mistaken. But it's gone. And when I acquired this other one, I was like, this is cool. When it came to me, it was blue. So if you see the Instagram picture Monday when I had two MOWs, it was my current MOW, the Gen 2, if you will, and the other one. And I was thinking, even when I traded to Anthony. Anthony was like, I know you're going to blast the blue off of it. They're like, yep. He's like, just start with that. Don't do anything else. I'm like, man, I don't know. Like, I got to thinking about it. I was like, I wonder if I can send this thing back to Todd. So when I got it, I just like immediately, before I leave, I messed with it like a day or so. And then I turned around and said to him, get him to do blasting for me. I think you wanted to check it out too, because like, it's like me too. Like when you see work you've done in the past and it gets back to you, you kind of like want to reanalyze it and kind of like, you know, anyway, it's advertised now. Not that he does like a refurb for general public, I don't believe, but, I just kind of wanted him to put his current blast on it because his blast is way more aggressive than mine is. Anywho, so this week's had some ups and downs as well. So let me show you this. I don't think I ever showed you the reblade of that Unuzon that I'm working on. So here it is. What? Is it two pieces? Yep, it was bent. I tried to fix it and snap. It's thin stock anyhow, right? So it's something I normally don't work in. It's thin stock. And if you take the thickness of the spine, it's 150. And then you add in that cut I did. I don't know if y'all can see how thin that is. But right in that one section, it got super thin. And yeah, it bent. And it was probably the worst bend I've ever seen. And from what I hear, K390 ain't supposed to bend like that. So I don't know what I did or didn't do wrong. But it was a learning curve. I don't feel too bad about that one. It seems like me and the CRKs ain't getting along here lately anyhow, as far as like the reblades go. So I got, that one to redo, but I basically got pattern at this point, so I don't have to worry about I won't say worry about it. The fun part for me is like the sort of like just playing with the design and doing it, but I'm going to copy. I like the way that one turned out. And I even have a picture of it. I'll try to put it up if I can remember, edit it in. I have a picture of it, how it looked. It looked cool, but it just didn't, come out flat. So I didn't even think to check it, to be honest with you, coming out of heat treat. So talking with a few fellas, it sounds like something I need to start doing is like after it's coming out of the quench plates and before it goes into cryo, I need to kind of check it for flatness while it's still warmish. And I can kind of sort of, possibly do a little flattening and changing then while it's still warmish before it goes to cryo. And then after it goes to cryo, it starts, creating problems or I don't know. It just seems like something I need to kind of look into and do. Another step in learning heat treat, I suppose. No biggie. But the main thing that I got done this week was origin number 3. And in the process, like, you guys that design stuff like computers or are real good at computers, like drawing stuff or stuff like that, it's not me at all. So, like, my process is putting it in my hands, feeling it, looking at it, see what needs to be changed and that sort of thing. I don't think I ever got through with this knife until I got through with it, if that makes sense. Like, every time, even in this videos, clips that I took during the week when I was starting to express the problem and how I was going to go about fixing it, I still knew there was more that I was going to be doing. I just didn't know what. So I had to keep advancing and keep advancing. So let me pause here. I'm going to show you kind of sort of where I got to in the videos, and then I'll show you the final product here in a second. All right, so people have been wanting some more shop stuff, so I figured I'd do this real quick. It may or may not turn out anything, and it may turn out fine. We don't know. All right, so this is origin number 3. So what I've done was I recurved it more dramatically when I was sharpening it. And I wanted to have this pronounced tip here. And as I was doing it, I like it, but when I did it, let me get this all the way out. And I do have this kind of secured so I can kind of sort of show you as I'm going here. As I did it this way, I wasn't fond. Hopefully you can see the whole knife. I wasn't fond of this angle. And when I started looking at it, I was like, it would be better to me visually. See if I can do this. There we go. if it had more of a curve like that. So problem is now, as I already got this stop pin in here, I got to figure out what to do to make another stop pin that much bigger. I can't make it that much bigger without relieving all this in here, which affects the lock, which I'm gonna have to recut the lock face anyhow, no big deal. But it also affects the detent on the closed position. So what I think I'm gonna do after playing with it, I can put like a 100 thou pin in here right now as it is. So what I think I'm gonna do is drill and ream, because I have this 156 reamer that I can put this pin here. Hopefully make it a little bit closer to this pin, so I have to grind just a little bit off so it gives a little more, instead of just being, let's see if I can make this make sense, instead of being like center to center like this, if I grind a little bit off of it, basically it's going to be like that, where it, you know, it has a little bit of a flat to it, so it cups the other pin a little bit more. It really won't matter because it's backed by it anyhow, but you know, I'm trying to make stuff strong and modify at the same time. So thoughts, I'm just giving you thoughts as I go. The other thought was, this radius is on this stop pin right now on the blade. This part here is already a 250 radius, so radius to this. So if I put this pin in here, you can see that the radius isn't going to match, and this is actually a little bit further this way than on what I want. So if I put this 156 pin in here, I can come back in and grind the actual stop pin, so it's basically cupped more like this, so the pin will still be centered and it'll match this radius, so it should sit good. That's the game plan right now. So what I'm thinking about doing, these are actual, you can mic it up, there's 156.2 or whatever the 5/32 is, I can't remember the decimal. But I got these transfer punches, and these are actually a little bit undersized. So if I come in here with a transfer punch and put it where I want, it should work out fine. The difference there is, you see how this clears the stop pin back in this back position here? This position here. So I've got to be careful not to get in that position. So if I bank it here and just go slightly off, so I'll probably put like a 1 thou shim or something in here, and then transfer punch it here, it should give me my hole. Unfortunately, you'll see another hole here on the outside, but I'm gonna try to do it small, like maybe a 060, a 16th or something, pilot, and then use a bigger drill, or maybe I'll do something bigger, I don't know. Then I have to sandwich these two together to locate the inside of this one without going through on that one. Drill, ream it, and then hopefully be able to add this pin in here with a little bit of luck. Maybe it's all turned into something, but maybe it'll turn into a piece of scrap. I don't know. We'll find out in a minute here. All right, just got done with the machine work. So you can see basically this is what I did on both sides. I pilot drilled it on that side. So you see the little drill going through. Basically sandwiched these two together, drilled through this side to make a pilot hole, but it's just a counterbore on this side. It's not all the way through, so you don't see it. Then open the drill size up on the inside of both of them, and then I reamed them both on the inside. Hope that makes sense. It was a couple steps, but there you go. But anyway, you can see basically that this bigger hole is the regular stop pin, or was the stop pin for both, and then I put this extra 5/32 stop pin in here. So you can kind of see the setup now. That when you just barely clear, you see the clearance we got here. So we clear, so we don't have to redo the frame for the stock position. So all the detent, all that stuff's still solid. The pins are touching. They're super solid there, and there's where we're touching. We want to be slightly, the blade rotates slightly more clockwise into the stop pin. So if I can remove the material, hopefully I'll remove the material right in this area, then hopefully you can see this in camera. If I remove just a little bit of material and match this radius a little better, then hopefully it'll come in and seat. And then the last thing we'll have to do is basically recut that lock face. You can basically see the line of the lock bar right there. We're basically recutting that lock face. The distance between this pivot and this point right here is the same throughout this whole travel, so it really doesn't matter. The lock bar is going to be as long. It's just going to matter recutting it and hopefully not messing that up. But there you go. That's the current. And obviously I got to keep working. I got to do this to the blade now. And this is a hardened blade, so this is not going to be the easiest thing to do. But I'm going to try to cut that radius into this and then see what we get and go from there. I'll get back with you when we get some progress. Quick show in progress. So you can see that hole's not perfect right there. I've been doing with this Dremel pretty much. So I got to come and smooth this all out. But we're checking the progress. And now you see that matches that radius way better. So the stop pin's hitting like it should. So basically it's open more than it should, but at the end of it where it's cupping perfect, right? More or less. That's what I'm trying to show you. See how it's sitting there perfectly? Looks good right there. So I just need to smooth out around it, and then we'll call it good. It can go a little bit more clockwise still if it needs to, but other than that, that's pretty much the whole backbone is nice even swoop across the whole thing. This is pretty much exactly what I was looking for. All right, so origin number 3, all done. I didn't finish the video. You know, you get doing things, you forget about other things. But anyway, origin number 3, here you go. So it's finally done. You can kind of sort of see the shape. It kind of more rounded across the top. I left this a little bit longer. I thought about going back and bringing the tie up just a little bit, like bringing the tie up the angle. But I think the angle of it, all the swoop downs kind of make sense. But it's very pronounced tanto. So I figured this is going to be a polarizing one. Like you either going to like it or not like it kind of thing. You see the extra hole here. I did fix the detent the same way that I fixed Tomas's, but adding that second detent ball there to keep it going in as much. But as far as like the action and feel on this one, like this one is pretty much money. I'm pretty satisfied. Not that I wasn't with Origin 2, but like this one took me a little bit longer in some aspects because I wanted to modify it as I was going, and the other one took me a little bit longer some ways to get like the feel with action. But both these Origin 2 and 3 kind of sort of fought me a lot of the way. I don't know if it was me getting out of my own way or whatever it was, but like I'm super happy with the end result. It just took me a minute to get there. So this one's also in 3V. This one's around 200 thou. I think it's just under, I can't remember for sure, but I think it's just under 200 thou. All pretty much the same hardware, other than, you know, I put the extra pin in there. I don't know if I ever showed it in that other video. I can't remember because it's been during the week. But you see the double pins, how it came out like that. One's back in the other one, more or less. But as far as functionality, like listening, the audible, like it's solid as could be. At first I was kind of sort of worried about using that smaller pin, but now I'm like, afterwards I'm like, it's a 156 pin backed by 250 pin. So like chance of you breaking that, slim to none, I think. So I'm super comfortable with the strength that this one ended up having, and probably actually stronger in the long run. But super happy with this, how this one came out action wise. It's just whether you like the styling of it or not, I get that. And purposely I was trying to do something a little bit on the ridiculous side. Steve did want a Tanto recurve, and I figured I'd enhance that Tanto recurve as much as possible. He also wanted to pry with it a little bit. So it is thicker at the tip. It's not as thick as like I could have made it. It's still very much a cutting tool, but it's kind of sort of Medfordy out there, kind of towards the tip. I could have left it thicker. I could have. Probably should have from what he actually wanted to do with it, but I got to start somewhere, right? And so like, it's hard for me because I'm basically two-sided on this. through doing all those regrinds, like I learned how to get super thin for the guys that wanted that super thin. Super thin for me. It may not be for like people that are into like 5 thou behind the edge and that sort of thing, but you know, I think 10, 15 thou behind or before at the flat before I start sharpening kind of thing. Like that's pretty thin. So I had originally done this one that thin. And I think even in that video, if you look at like the secondary bevel, you see that it's bigger on this. You see how these are pretty close. So I ended up basically taking more material out, and I ended up reshaping this radius here and bringing it up a little bit higher. I originally had the plan of coming straight and then kind of curving down, but in that video, if you can see it, it kind of looks like it's too triangulated. It wasn't curved enough. That was just something I had to visualize. Like in my mind, I thought it was going to turn out something different than what it did. And as it's going, I had to keep evolving it. And that's why I kept chasing this one. So pretty much most of this week was chasing this one. And it was just more or less like, I could have called it done on Monday, but I knew I wasn't happy with it. So like, just push a little further. Let's just push a little further. Let's just push a little further. And Steve kept getting update videos. Well, I kept sending them, I like this. Maybe it's done. I like this. Maybe it's done. And, you know, I think yesterday I finally shot him a text with the video on it. And I was like, it's done for real this time. Like, but anyway, super happy with this. Origin number 3 came out. It's another one in the books. I basically built this one the same as 2. Like they're basically side by side when I built them both. This one did have a little bit of a centering issue, and it's just a hair. Let's see, just a hair, maybe just a hair towards this show side, but not much. Let me see if it's tight, because I didn't even check it. I did want to carry this one all day. Like Tomas's, I didn't carry number 2. I didn't carry number 2 at all because I knew it was pretty much action on that one's pretty much money. And I didn't think, the only thing that I'm having an issue with mainly the first one, but I think the second one a little bit too. O2, maybe this one hasn't done it at all. Is the pivot backing off? And I don't know what causes or doesn't cause that. Like, is it bound while it's not loosening on this one? Should it be loosening? I don't know. Like, I know people don't like for it to loosen, but like a lot of people recommend Loctite from their pivots, and generally speaking, I will, swear by Loctite too. So I don't know whether to Loctite this one or not. The only disadvantage of doing all this stuff to this one is with that dual stop pin there, it's a bear to take apart. It's not fun. It's not fun at all to take apart or put back together, to be honest with you. And you can see my thumb got a hammer on it once or twice. So yeah, there are advantages and disadvantages. I definitely don't want to be doing a double stop pin for no reason. It's just one of those ones that kept speaking to me, and I was like, just push through and try it. And if it don't work out, you can make another blade. And that's kind of sort of what my plan was. Especially like I mentioned last week, like these are basically getting built for friends. And I know they're not, ultimately I'm going to do better quality in the long run, but I got to start somewhere, and I got to start with people that I know that will put the knives to use, that can tell me, hey, this is good or this is bad. Like Tom had, T-Mac had a problem with his, and he sent it back to me. We got it fixed right away. I hope that that's not the case for more of these, but I want them to get put to the test to know if I'm making flaws so that I can correct those flaws and hopefully improve upon them. Like, I think one of my biggest things now is I need to get a hardness tester so I can start, understanding the heat treat more and start paying attention to details that I'm not paying attention to. And then probably a surface grinder after that. I'm thinking about selling that CNC mill and lathe. So if I do that, I'll definitely have the room for it and probably the scratch for it too. So hopefully, anyhow, that's kind of sort of maybe a game plan. I don't know. Damn it, I didn't bring that thing. Yeah, we'll do that another time. Billy sent me a Hornbeak Valley song. It's been on the channel before, but he sent it to me to be the caretaker for a little while. So I'm going to hang on that for a little while. I was going to show it to y'all again, but y'all seen it. And I'll break it back out and do it again. But I talked to Billy for quite a while one day this week. It's good to talk to him. He don't do the videos and nothing no more, but I think he's more or less like, he gets, I get that way to a certain extent, but probably not to the extent he does, where you're focused on one thing and then you jump to the next one and jump to the next one and you don't look back. And I think that's what happened to him. He's super focused on other hobby right now. And knives are kind of like, he uses them, but he ain't really, he pays a little bit of attention, but not that much of attention, But it was good to talk to him. I ain't talked to him for a good minute. Anyway, if y'all didn't see Nick's video last week, Nick Edwards, he's kind of hanging up the reviews too. So it's kind of sad to see other YouTubers kind of bowing out at this time. But I get it, man. If there ain't a whole lot to talk about, like I've been in that situation before I started modding. Even I was still modding then, but like to my own stuff. You get to a point where like you kind of run out of stuff to talk about because like the newest, the latest, greatest, you get tired of talking about that. No matter, oh man, I'd imagine even the guys that are getting nice for free get tired of talking about that stuff. So, it's probably fun for a certain period of time, and then it becomes more of a task, I would imagine. But I am moving on to building more Origins this coming week. The fun part for me is to sit down and go, okay, what did I like about this one? What did I like about the 02? What did I like about 01? And what do I want to change about them? And what do I want to try? So all these first 6 are more or less like the same. Like you see that the lock bar cutout is bigger than I really intended to. Like this is the width here that I wanted that to be. It just didn't work out because the wheel I was using to flop around, I think I already described it, is a bigger diameter. So I need to use a smaller diameter in order to get the wheel to follow where I want to. Or to cut the line that I want to. And I got some recommendations on what size wheels to use and that sort of thing. So I think next time it'll probably be a better process. Hopefully it'll be a better process. But anyway, like I was saying, the first 6 are pretty much already, the machine work's done. So it's a matter of kind of sort of design, more or less like in my mind, how I want to do it. And I still want to kind of sort of put out more different stuff. So I'm not ready to say, hey, let me know what you want. 02 handle, 03 handle, that sort of thing. So even the next one's going to be, I'm going to modify I know 04, I've already started working on it. It's kind of on that bench behind you, but I'm not going to show it to you yet. It's similar to this style, like I modeled it after this style, but I wanted to use a different blade shape and kind of explore a little bit. And I think for the next 3, that's what's going to happen. I'm going to do my thing on the 3. On these 2, Steve and Tomas were both so cool. It's like they both threw suggestions my way. Well, Steve, not so much. He kind of just said, do your thing. And Tomas just had a few suggestions. I tried to do his suggestions, and I think some worked out, some didn't. You know, like the only call Steve really made was that he wanted the corner round on his. But even at that, he was like, I don't care, do what you want. So Steve was cool. But, you know, like as far as like trying to put a name with a knife and that sort of thing, I think I'm going to try a few things on these next couple. Hopefully somebody will like it enough to buy it. Instead of like trying to, I think when it gets to a point where like I pretty much got all the machine work done, the heat treat done, the grinds done, and then I'm looking for finishes, like what kind of finishes you want to put on it, then I might put them up, you know, and go, hey, or I might just do this to all of them. And then if you want something different, I can kind of sort of revert back and do something different, because this is my go-to. Everybody knows this is my go-to. My wife always tells me I'm so vanilla because I do the same thing every time. But hey, that's my style. It really is. It's just my style. Actually, I was talking to Todd about that because he showed me a knife. It was a Damascus blade, but like he was like, this is the first dude that I talked to since you that just wants all black and gray. You don't want no color, no flaming, none of that crap, just black and gray. I was like, that's perfect. That's my style, 100%. Like, that is 100% my style. Anywho, I've been rambling enough. I think this is a good enough video. Super happy with 03. I'm going to get that sent out to Steve and let him start putting it to work, hopefully. And then, you know, hopefully him and Tomas give me a little feedback. It makes me feel so good to get one sent out and then it received well. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but man, like it's one of your creations and you just send it to your buddy and he's like, oh yeah, dude, you're onto something. You're doing good. Like that's a damn good feeling when Tomas told me that. And every day he's had it, he's posted a picture on Instagram. So that makes me more happy because I know he's carrying it, at least, you know, paying attention to it. So, you know, that's the best I can hope for, I guess, right now. But hopefully, you know, next week or so, maybe I'll get it to a point where it's like close enough to show you some designs and then kind of get the feels out. You know, like I don't think I'll get heat treat done because it'll probably take too long to get the other 2. This one's kind of sort of designed. It's not all the way done, but you know, it's kind of sort of. It takes a long time to get from the profile design, figuring out how you want to do everything to kind of sort of, you know, if whatever opening method I want to put in it, I got to machine that in it. Then I got to prep it all for heat treat because basically, you know, you got to sand all those like in the groove and all this stuff like in that. You got to sand it when it's soft because you get it out of heat treat and sand it, and you're wasting some time, some energy. At least for me, anyhow. Like we all different in that regard. Like it's funny how many different ways are to make the same thing. And I used to say as a machinist all the time too, it ain't wrong if you making it to print at the end. Like you might do it 1,000 different ways. And if it starts at a block and ends up at a finished part and all those finished parts are the same, you know, meet the dimensions, you're good. You know, the same thing with a folding knife. There's different ways of doing it. Like as I was looking up how to fix that bow, I watched a video from Transplant and he was talking about he gets his folder blades within 2/10. Like I'm like 2/10. That's like aerospace tolerance. Like I don't see any point of that for what I do. Like I ain't saying what he does ain't right because like that's way more precision than what I do. I just don't think it's necessary for the stuff that I do. Like I've worked aerospace, that's aerospace tolerances. And truthfully, you can get paid a ton more if you're into holding tolerances like that. You can get paid a ton more. I mean, it's not even close, a ton more in aerospace. Or like, you know, hospitals, automotive, like there's a ton more places that pay more. Obviously the passion ain't there, but like if you're into the machining, the aspect of machining and holding those tight tolerances, I ain't saying not to make knives. I'm just saying you can make a ton more money doing something else, because knives really is a passion when it comes down to it. Like I know I said I was gonna stop talking, but here I keep going, but y'all don't care. You clicked on to listen to me ramble anyhow. Actually I was talking to Billy about this. Like, so I don't know how many hours I got into a knife like this. Like it's impossible for me to figure it out. And then on top of that, tooling, like how much tooling do I got? Like just cutting the profile of the titanium out. Like I use a 3/8 mil. So I'll use that 3/8 mil, like the face of it to do whatever I'm doing, whether it's, you know, part of this is the 3/8. whatever task I might have. And then when it's done, the face is kind of dull, I'll use it for side cutting only. And that usually just cutting out those 2 pieces of titanium, usually the end mill's done. So like, how many tools did I scrap making these? I'll just call it 2 knives. And then how much time do I have in the shop between those 2 knives? What's the time between I got the 01 done versus the 03 done? What's that time frame? I don't know. I have to go back and look at the videos to see what the whole time lapse was. But I would imagine, and no lie, I would imagine I probably have easily over 100 hours in both these knives. Easily. And I'm not talking about material, tool, and anything else. Just the knives. Like how many weeks it took me to kind of sort of complete these things. So there's a lot of time in it. So if I was really into money, like you kind of do the math, right? Let's go on the conservative side and just say 80 hours. I know they're way more than that, but let's just say it's 80 hours into one of them. And granted, I'm slow, right? I'm still trying to figure stuff out. So I'm slow. I created my own problems. But let's just do 80, right? 80 hours. And just times what you think a machinist wage should be. Here, minimum wage is $15 an hour. So you can kind of sort of put your number on what you think a fair machinist wage would be, and then times 80, and you figure out how much money I'm losing by selling this knife for $750. So like, it's a passion. It truly is a passion. I ain't saying that like the end user should be paying more for nothing. Like a lot of it is on me. It's a small shop. I'm not proficient in not have my stuff streamlined, and there are ways to streamline it. I'm just not willing to do them yet. In the trenches, doing it the hard way, digging ditches and learning the ways at the point, if you want to look at it that way, like, or on the stones, whatever saying you want to say. All right, I think I'm done for real this time. Y'all be cool. Check you next week. Later.